Hello and welcome back, Phoenix Nation, to another women's soccer game. I'm Robert Finnegan,
And I'm Hannah DeWare.
and before we get started, I want to give a shout out to our sponsors, Daylight Donuts and Heidi's Dress Shop. Thank you so much to them for sponsoring this stream.
All right, so right here at Amelia Earhart Stadium in Atchison, Kansas, it's a nice little balmy 81 degrees, and as you might hear through the mics a couple times, it's a little breezy. That'll be a-okay. It feels and looks like some wonderful soccer weather. Phoenix today are facing off the Washington Wildcats. Today, our national anthem will be sung by our one and only Annie Shia. We will come back to you after the lineup and the national anthem.
Thank you. The purpose of this activity is to provide positive learning experiences and opportunities for personal growth of the participants. Atchison High School is pleased to host our guest from Washington. The competition is being conducted according to the rules of the Kansas State High School Activities Association. Interscholastic activities are an integral part of our students' education. There is no place in an educational environment for poor sportsmanship. Tonight's event is not about winning at all costs, disrespecting others, or criticizing the officials, athletes, and coaches. It is about learning, developing character, and competing with class. Please do your part by being a good sport. At this time, please stand if you are able as we will honor the United States of America with the singing
Welcome back, as we have just finished off with the national anthem and the start is being read off. The home Atchison Phoenix are in the red. They will, on this half of the game, be going from the left side of the field to the right, and our visiting Washington Wildcats in white will be doing the opposite. They will be going from, I can't tell my left and right, guys. I am so sorry. The Phoenix will be doing the inverse. And our Washington Wildcats are dressed in white on the other side. The last time the Atchison Phoenix faced off against the Washington Wildcats, it was at an away game earlier this season where the final score was 8-0 for a mercy rule in the Phoenix favor. That being said, as Robin and I have said many times on this stream, any team can beat any other team any day of the week. So this is still a wonderful game to be watching.
That's certainly anyone's game at the moment. Score 0-0. Therefore, it's anyone's game.
Yes, it is. And there it is. The Wildcats kicking off the ball, and the Phoenix pushing some pressure pretty hard as Schneely gets a first little breakaway here, a little look at the goal, but that ball finds itself safely in the hands of the keeper.
That was a little unfortunate. They tried to set it up, but they did not have anyone back there to receive the ball.
No, that ball ended up
made it to it.
That ball ended up going through just between two defenders, and both defenders ended up looking a little bit at each other and be like, "Pitcher ball?" It's not my ball.
Yes, communication is very important.
It is, which is, as we've seen before, can be a very great strength of the Phoenix. It's something that they've definitely developed over the season now that we're looking here at near end season for the Phoenix, that we have been able to watch their communication on the field grow and blossom. As Schneely gets another look at that goal, getting a one-on-one attempt at the keeper. Keeper is able to block it, bouncing off the palm of her hands to the feet of defender, who's looking to get it out.
That was a pretty good block by their goalie.
It's fantastic. Ball's out for a Phoenix throw-in. Over the heads of a couple defenders. Schneller not quite able to get any touch on that. But because it headed out on a Phoenix throw-in, that is a goal kick for the Wildcats.
Looks like they'll be having a defender take that kick.
Yes, and that ball ends up going a little wide for another Phoenix throw-in here on the close side of the stadium.
Emma Finnegan taking that throw in.
Yes. I would not envy to be Emma Finnegan right now, as the sun is not in her favor as she was trying to take that throw-in, as the sun is very bright today.
Bright and hot.
There are very few clouds in the sky, so there will be very little reprieve from the heat. As I stated earlier, it's close to around 81 degrees right now. There was a foul there against the Phoenix. That ball is now around half field, taken by the Wildcats. Their defense taking a little bit of time, looking for some feet. They're able to find some in the midfield. With a nice little through ball from Emma Finnegan on this close side here. She gets a couple touches as a couple defenders catch up to her. Makes the shot to the far post. Is able to get it just off the ground near the bottom of that post, but makes it.
That was a crazy shot. You could see it bend through the air around the goalie. That was great.
With just over 3 minutes in the game, the score is now Phoenix 1, the visiting Wildcats 0.
An excellent start for the Phoenix.
Schnetler once again putting some quick pressure onto the attacking third for the Phoenix. Takes a little bit of ball to the face there as she gets smacked by a pass trying to go long. Finnegan once again having the ball on this close side. Attempts to make a cross, but finds the feet of a defender instead.
That was going to be a nice cross, too. It was going right for her teammates.
Yes. The defense able to step in pretty quickly there and get between the ball and the goal. Caitlin Folsom trying to make a couple little dribbles and things happen here, but runs into a defender. There does seem to be an injury on the field, but the ref has not stopped the clock quite yet.
There we go.
Ref sees it, stops the clock, and ushers on the trainer. This seems to be some type of ankle injury for the Washington Wildcats. Appears to be one of their midfield players. Players from both teams taking the opportunity from this injury to take a little bit of rest as a couple people find themselves sitting on the turf, which can't be the most comfortable thing right now. As we've mentioned, it is hot and that the turf itself is black, so therefore absorbs a lot of heat. But taking the ability to take a rest nonetheless.
You know, laying on turf ain't so bad, especially if it's just hot anyway. It's relaxing.
That player able to get up, is able to, with help, making her way off the field as one arm over the trainer, one arm over her coach. The Wildcats making a little bit of a rally here at the 20-yard line, ensuring that they're all on the same page and clue in some of that communication that they may have been missing earlier in the game. That player taking a little bit of time to get off the field as that injury happened on the close side of this field, and that bench is unfortunately all the way on the far side.
Quite a distance away for an injury.
Absolutely. That ball will be also dropped right around the 20-yard line, as we were saying earlier. Ball is dropped to the feet of a Wildcat. The defense quick to step up and apply a lot of pressure up into the midfield as some of our defenders creep up into the midfield here. Hansen able to box out a couple players.
Crazy footwork.
But she takes what seems like one touch too many before a Wildcat is able to get her foot on the ball. A little bit more physicality happening on the field as a little bit more bumps are happening here and there, both between the Phoenix and a Wildcat. Appearing to be another injury on the field as it looks like a Phoenix defender ran quite heavily into the ankle of a Wildcat. The ref has not stopped the clock, though, as it seems this player is going to get up on her own feet. And looks like she might attempt to keep playing.
That's the most unpleasantness within a span of time here on the women's soccer's home games yet.
Yes, absolutely. The ball now onto the defensive third for the Phoenix as they're starting to get a taste for the defense this game. The Washington Wildcats are able to string together a few passes before the Phoenix defense disrupts that and gets the ball upfield. Rather large touch from a midfielder sends the ball all the way down the field, and Schneller is not able to get anywhere close to that before the keeper sweeps it up.
Yeah, it'd be crazy to expect her to. That ball went flying.
It was a very great kick, but unfortunately a very long one. Once again, seeing the communication between the Phoenix here as number 2, Annie Shia, takes a couple steps and is playing a little bit of a midfield position here as that midfielder drops back to cover her spot in the defense.
But the Phoenix defense on it as ever to try and get that ball out of there.
Burke taking a couple steps out, passes it up to Finnegan, who battles it out on the close side with a Wildcat to keep possession, but ultimately loses it.
As Phoenix kick it out for a Wildcat throw-in. Phoenix kick it out again for another Wildcat throw-in. Phoenix moving that ball up the field, putting some pressure on the Wildcats.
Typical defender, number 2, Annie Shia, once again taking a few dribbles up the field, showing what she's made of. She's going down, looking for the cross, gets the cross off, but it finds itself into the palms of the keeper, who then makes a drop kick.
Emma Finnegan with a shot on goal, but the goalie stops it.
Looking for another long ball as she was able to make earlier, but the keeper's able to keep this one safely out of the net.
Ooh, a nice cross. But no one seemed to have called the ball. They were both running for it, and it ended up just rolling off the side.
Another Wildcat seems to be down on the far side, and they seem to roll over to sit on their butt as the ref now calls to stop the clock again for yet another Wildcat injury. That player starts heading off the field now, just barely still on the field as she's making her way closer to the bench, still on the field, unable to start the clock. And there we go. She steps off the field as the ref turns back to the players. This is essentially a goal kick for the Wildcats. Clock still is not started as it seems. There we go. The 11th man enters the field as the Wildcats were still a man down after the injury.
Had to wait for another player.
Not 100% confident what the holdup here is right now, as it seems everything is in order.
Yes. I am also not quite sure with the delay.
But there we are, game
doesn't
on.
matter.
We're good. After a few side conversations between the AR and it seems like the Washington ref, the Washington coach, the center ref blows the whistle and game continues.
And we're still on it, just barely back into the game.
Finnegan having a good look at that goal, and the keeper's able to sweep it up in her hands, but it did end up being an offsides call, so whether the keeper had been able to keep it or not is not really up for debate, as Finnegan found herself offsides.
That happens a lot to her, unfortunately.
She is definitely raring and ready to go and is willing and wanting to make the play. So, and sometimes in her eagerness, takes one step too many and finds herself offsides. Hansen looking to get her own shot in goal, but unable to quite get there as she goes a little too narrow and the ball hits the net on the outside of this close side of the goal. This is another goal kick for the Wildcats.
Unfortunate, but you love to see the Phoenix keep that pressure on.
Yes, a shot on goal is still a shot on goal. The more shots, the more likelihood one is made.
That is what they say.
A little bit of physicality happening on the field as the AR waves his flag for that one. They are calling the foul on that one instead of the center ref, as they can do. The center ref does allow it, as it was a shove call against the Wildcats. Folsom making a long kick and into the goal after bouncing around once on the turf and then back into the net. I think it was Caitlin Folsom, yeah.
I'm gonna get it.
Ball is kicked off as we're working to fix our scoreboard, and there it is, showing the correct score now. Our typical athletic director is out right now, therefore we're having our lovely and fantastic high school principal, Dr. Williams, fill in for the position. One that she is definitely unfamiliar with, but is more than happy to help.
Yes. It's nice to see the scoreboard back up, and it's nice to see the Phoenix with 2 points.
Schneller looking to make a cross once again, finds for a middle cross there, and
Looking
Annie
for a
Sheely is able to get it in.
Beautiful. Again.
Annie Shia able to make a beautiful shot on goal just about a minute later after our last one. Number 2 is Annie Shia. As she gives loving attention and kisses out to the crowd as they cheer her name. As I mentioned a couple times already, Annie is typically a defender, and she is a senior, so she was looking and ready to make that goal.
And it's nice to see her get some.
She is currently playing a midfield position, which we don't always typically see her play. And the typical midfielder has definitely stepped back to fill her spot. Schneller making a break for it at number 15, getting a look on like a one-on-one situation.
We're just keeping the pressure on. We're just taking shot after shot after shot on this goal.
The keeper able to block that shot on goal from our palms, kicking it back out to the top of the box, where the Phoenix continue to maintain that pressure.
This keeper cannot catch a break.
Number 20, Emma Finnegan, getting another look at that goal, but gives it a little too much power, and it goes through the uprights and out the back for a Wildcat goal kick.
That'd be a point in football.
Would be a point of football, but alas, it is the wrong football.
We probably don't have any international viewers.
We have exchange students here at Atchison.
Oh, you're right. That does exist.
Ava Trevino trying to make an attempt on the goal on the far side there, but it bounces off of a defender and out the back for one of the first Phoenix goal kicks of this game. Taking that ball is number 24, Caitlin Folsom, who previously just made a goal from a pretty long shot. She takes the kick and ends up as another Phoenix quarter kick.
Just a do-over. If at first you don't succeed, try again. Get a
That
second
we
chance.
shall. Ball is played in the middle of the box, and it bounces around for a little bit. A couple more people taking shots, but no one able to get it to the back of the net. And that ball eventually finds itself off of the field for a Phoenix throw-in.
The Wildcats working on getting that ball out of there, but we just won't let them have it. We keep sending it on back.
The heat is truly something here at the Amelia Earhart Stadium, as Finian Patterson, the manager for the Phoenix, is typically up here in the box with us recording film for the Lady Red, and the iPad that he records on just overheated.
Oh. That's unfortunately all too real. That happens to some of our equipment some days too. Phoenix being aggressive, pushing it back into their defensive third. The Wildcats defense on it this time, trying to get control of that ball. Trying to arrest it away from the Phoenix. But we just can't be stopped. We're keeping the pressure on, staying aggressive.
Phoenix once again looking for a cross, as Finnegan is able to get the cross off.
Oh,
and off of the
goal.
top of the fingertips and bouncing off of the crossbar. Emma Finnegan finds herself making her second goal.
That's crazy to see. Whoa, right off the top of the goal.
Just brushing past those fingertips of the goalie, and is able to bounce and stay in the goal after hitting off the crossbar.
Emma scored half our goals this game.
She has. The Phoenix and Wildcats alike unable to make anything quite happen for the last
What
few
a
moments
kick.
here. But the Phoenix defense is able to make a long ball, and so Schnella gets a look at the goal once again. Keeps it
Stops it from rolling out.
almost in bounds, but it does in fact roll out, unfortunately, for another Wildcat goal kick.
That would have been quite impressive. She caught up to that ball. She was on top of it.
Schneller definitely having some wheels, catching up to that ball pretty fast, but just barely able to, unfortunately, not keep it in bounds. That goal kick was short, finds the body of Finnegan, who once again makes another shot and up through the uprights.
2 goals, 2 football points for Emma Finnegan this evening.
Emma Finnegan definitely wanting the goal. The Wildcats doing a little bit of a tricky play here as the keeper takes
Ooh, a nasty fall.
a tap and then leads it for the defender to finish. And then a foul or at about the 15-yard line and for the attacking third for the Phoenix against the Wildcats. The Wildcats opting to make a wall for this one. Number 24, Caitlin Folsom, taking the kick. It's on the ground, finds the couple feet. But ultimately, the Wildcats are able to get the ball out of the danger zone. The Phoenix taking their time, looking around, trying to find the feet. Finnegan getting another look on goal.
Offsides, I bet.
But once again, finds herself offsides. That one was very close.
Yeah.
From my perspective up here, she could have been looking onsides, but of course the ARs down there definitely have a better look down the defensive line. To remind our audience for onsides, offsides, Emma Finnegan here keeps finding herself offsides as she is farther and deeper into the field than the deepest / farthest back defender there. So she therefore has, in theory, a more of a one-on-one opportunity with the goalie in that case, which the soccer rules therefore kind of deem unfair. Schneller getting her chance to look at the goal, one-on-one with the goalie, takes the shot, bounces off the palms of the goalie. Ava Trevino getting her chance and does the exact same thing off the palms of the goalie.
A defender took a tumble there, and it bounces off the crossbar.
That one, unfortunately, bounces off of the uprights, and as we've discussed before, the uprights are unfortunately off of the field.
Oh, yeah.
It is a tight one for fields like ours that use the same lines for soccer and football. Ever so slightly, and it's done like this on purpose for fields like ours, those uprights are just behind the top crossbar, so if it does hit those yellow uprights, it is out.
It means it was going to go out even if they weren't there.
Absolutely. The Phoenix starting to lose a little bit of steam on their attack as a couple offensive players give a few lazy taps as they attempt to get around the defenders, but aren't able to get around them. The heat definitely starting to affect players, as you can see, a little bit more sluggish movements from everyone on the field.
Yeah, the heat is no joke. It's hard to play when it's hot.
Definitely sweating. Up here in the box, so I couldn't imagine the players. Foul against the Phoenix there. As you can tell, the defender there kind of knew it herself. She started to put her hands up to show she hadn't done anything, but alas, she had.
Too late.
There is another injury on the field for the Wildcats. The ref not stopping the clock yet as that player gets up on her own 2 feet and opts to continue playing the game.
The Wildcats taking their time getting ready to kick this ball.
Yes, one of the things that both teams were waiting for is for situations like these that the shot could result in an attempt on the goal. The ref has to take a certain amount of steps to ensure all players are behind those steps. Phoenix able to give a little pretty give and go, giving Schneller a look at the goal once again. Takes the shot and through the uprights.
That's nearly as many upright shots as goals this game.
The Phoenix definitely having a great effort on the ball, even though, as we've discussed, that heat is starting to make everybody sluggish. The Phoenix are definitely trying to show out in the moments that it counts. That wind starting to make its way on the field, which is definitely reprieve for the players and coaches alike, as it definitely helps cool off the temperature. But I'm unsure it'll cool off the temperature of the game as Anna Sheila is able to make a beautiful stop there. But unfortunately, it still results in the ball heading out for a Wildcat throw-in. Robin and I are here just discussing a little bit off mic about the heat and the sun, and I should have definitely packed some sunscreen.
Oh yeah, for real. I need to start bringing a hat to these. I'm up here commentating, but I don't got sunglasses or a hat, so I should start bringing a cap.
Foul against the Wildcats, good for a Phoenix kick here, just past the half field mark. Nice long ball by Lily Adams, and finds itself around the feet of Emma Finnegan, who's able to box out a defender for a throw-in. Ball ultimately heads out again on this close side for another Phoenix throw-in.
Another Phoenix throw-in.
Phoenix looking to make something happen, but the defense for the Wildcats definitely keeping their head on, just looking to get the ball out no matter what. This time that ball does head off the field, out the back, but this time off of a Phoenix foot, so this is now a Wildcat goal kick. The Phoenix get another look down in the attacking
Tumbles.
third. And physicality in the box as the ref stops the clock, looking like he's going to talk to a player here, or picks up the ball for a PK. So physicality in the box there for a foul does result in a PK.
A penalty kick.
Taking this PK will be number 5, Ava Trevino, who the foul was against. He takes a couple moments, takes a few words with Ava Trevino to ensure she knows the rules, and then walks up to the goalie to ensure that she knows the same. The goalie cannot creep off of that line until Ava Trevino has taken the shot.
Goalie excited, bouncing around.
Definitely trying to keep warm, keep loose. The goalie
Blocks
able
it.
to read that kick extraordinarily well as the keeper blocks it with her palms and gets down to the floor and turtles up over it.
They've really got a good keeper.
Their keeper is definitely showing what she is made of, as she's blocked plenty of shots this game and has done wonderful so. The center ref taking a moment to talk to the goalie, as there might have been a head injury there for a second, but he deems we're all good. Play clock continues on. Ava Trevino once again looking for her chance on that goal. With an unfortunate touch, as it didn't seem like that was the one she was looking for. That ball once again finds itself into the hands of the keeper, who makes a wonderful drop kick, finding itself around the midfield.
Nicely settled by our defense, or our midfielders, rather.
That ball heads out off of a Phoenix boot, so therefore is a Wildcat throw-in. The physicality of the game definitely starting to get a little more amped up as you see more players starting to collide with each other. Purposeful, accidental, nonetheless, it's resulted in the intensity of the game being turned up to the next level.
Sneller on it to try and get on goal, but ooh, a little far off to the far side of the goal.
As you hear the collective gasp and groan for the crowd, as Trevino definitely had a good shot and good look at the goal there, but is unable to get the ball off of foot in quite a way that she wanted, resulting in that ball going wide to the far side. Once again, the Washington Wildcats opt for a shorter goal kick rather than a longer one, resulting in Finnegan able to get her foot in between there, messing up their plans.
Ooh, that must have hurt.
Yes, a Wildcat player takes a ball to the body, and as it echoes off, and you can hear it through the rest of the field. Caitlin Folsom, number 24, looking to switch the field to go to the far side again, where Ava Trevino once again is trying to make her magic work, but is unable to truly get past the overwhelming presence of the defense this far. The ball once again finds itself out the back for a Wildcat goal kick.
The Wildcats consistently having their defenders take the goal kicks this evening. Interesting.
Yes, it is, as we've discussed in games past, a pro and a con, as it does allow your keeper to stay in the box and to be ready in case a quick goal happens, as Emma Finnegan once again finds herself offsides as she's looking for that goal.
She makes a third football point.
And this is true to our point that the Phoenix have been able to make a good quick turnarounds with these goal kicks, as they've put pressure on hard and early after each time the ball has been kicked. But the other result is that if the keeper takes the kick, it also pushes your defensive and therefore offsides line farther up, making it harder for, in this case, the Phoenix to be getting as close to the goal. Ella Hansen making her shot on goal.
I do not envy that goalie. There are a lot of people there.
As it rolls off the top of her fingertips up and out of the field.
We had a bunch of people there, and that could have gone a lot of ways. But props to their goalie for being on top of the ball and blocking it.
There was definitely a lot of people in the box there, and the keeper able to read the play extraordinarily well, especially as we saw earlier with that PK, as it is definitely hard to block PKs, and their goalie has done a wonderful job.
Seems to be some miscommunication over whose ball it is between the Wildcats defender.
Leaving the door open for the Phoenix to get an opportunity once again on the goal, which they will capitalize on. And
Another
yet,
wonderful block by the Wildcats goalie.
Keeper able to get her hand on that, pushing it up and over the goalpost for a Phoenix corner kick. Their keeper has done
so impressive.
Wonderful job. As we now tick down to 10.5 minutes remaining in the half. Ref calls a handling ball there against the Phoenix as the Phoenix player had put her hands to protect her face, but ultimately results in the ball hitting her hands.
Unfortunate, but that's how the game goes. Interesting that their goalie is sticking so far to one side of the goal instead of more center of the goal.
I do believe by that goalpost she does have her water bottle, as a lot of keepers
never mind.
will
Yeah.
have. So over there in the corner off the field, some keepers will keep an extra pair of gloves, an extra water bottle, and it appears that their keepers opt to do the same.
An impressive tumble by that Wildcats defender and recovery.
Yeah, is able to get back up on her feet and continue playing the game as the Phoenix looked across the field. Once again, Ava Trevino looking for her shot and her glory for goal, but is unable to find it, going just barely wide of the goal on the far side.
For another Wildcats goal kick.
Schneller able to make a beautiful settle on that ball.
An unfortunate trip.
As the defender there definitely sticks out her leg a little bit more than she probably should, just outside of the box. So no PK here, but definitely a dangerous place for the ball to be played. As it's literally just on the 10-yard line, just outside of the top of the box. This is a very dangerous space for the Washington Wildcats to be, but if the keeper can read this play just as well as she read the PK earlier.
She didn't need to. The defense got it.
Yes, the wall that the Washington Wildcats made were able to keep that ball out of the goal, but it is kicked out by a Wildcat for a Phoenix corner kick.
We're back to our normal corner kicker with Emma Finnegan.
She takes the kick, and the defense are pretty quickly able to get the ball out of the box, but Phoenix turn it back around, but they're unable to get a really good foot on it as it gets itself out of the backfield for yet another Wildcat goal kick.
Well, the game isn't really close. It's certainly intense.
It is definitely an intense game. It's a beautiful word to describe our game thus far because although the score is still reading Phoenix 4, Wildcats 0, the Wildcats have definitely had their fair showing, especially as we've commented a couple times now. Their keeper able to fend off many, many shots that would have resulted in goals for the Phoenix.
So many shots.
So while the score on the lights over there might not show the entire picture, this is still a wonderful game to be watching. The Wildcats here also definitely showing that they themselves as a team have also progressed since early in the season because as I mentioned earlier at the start of the game, the last time the Phoenix faced off against the Washington Wildcats, it did result in a score of 8-0 for a mercy rule for the Phoenix. So the Phoenix very, very much won that game and kept it under control and ended in the first half. This game is an entirely different story as it does not appear that we will be having a mercy rule for this first half as the Phoenix would have to score another 4 goals in the 5 minutes remaining.
That's just about a goal a minute. Not
Yes.
impossible, but
It's definitely not impossible,
probable.
but absolutely not probable for the team to happen. As we said, the Wildcats have definitely stepped up their own game and have been able to fend off many shots from the Phoenix and disrupt the plays that they had planned.
And the Finnegan cannot quite catch that ball while racing it out the back. So it's another Wildcats goal kick.
Opting for another short goal kick here as Finnegan can get her foot back on that ball. Ella Hansen looking for her goal. Takes a pass to number 5, Ava Trevino. But once again is just too wide. This time going off the close side here. For yet another, you guessed it, Wildcat
Wildcats
goal kick. Phoenix looking to make something happen as they're trying to string together some passes at the top of the box, but ultimately the Wildcats are able to get the ball away from them and make a run down the field.
Not a terrible press into the Phoenix defense this time, but the Phoenix are quick to recorrect it and take it back. Emma Finnegan trying to chase that ball out one more time.
Looking to cross a little bit, finds the feet of number 8, Ella Hansen, who once again crosses it farther down the field. And unfortunately, Ava Trevino having what seems like a series of bad luck hits here, kicks that ball out wide for Wildcat goal kick.
Unfortunate, but so goes the game. Ella Hansen with a nice cross to Schneller.
Makes a quick little give and go. She gets a real good shot on the goal, but once again, goal is showing off her abilities to read the kick and blocks it well, bouncing it out to the top of the box where the defense is able to get it up the field. Ref is going to call that a dangerous play as a Phoenix player is still on the ground from what looks like a rough play as the ref calls for the clock to stop and ushers on the trainer.
First real Phoenix injury this game.
Yes. Once again, players, both teams taking this opportunity to rest. As you can see, the Wildcats taking the opportunity to get a little bit of water for their bench as the coaches for the Phoenix do the same, offering players water as well. Player there able to get up on her own 2 feet, but is escorted off of the field by the trainer to ensure that she is okay. That injury was number 12, Lakin White.
Unfortunate, she's a senior.
Yes, she is a senior, and this is one of the last games she will be able to play for the Phoenix. The Phoenix are looking good for postseasons, though, with the ability that the Phoenix could be hosting a few postseason games here at the Earhart Stadium. But of course, we will not know any of those things for a fact till later on. Ref calls for the whistle play clock to start once again, and the Phoenix are quick to get on that ball.
They're out for vengeance.
Out for vengeance and out the field as well, as it is. They boot it out for a Wildcat throw-in. Ella Hansen making an attempt at the goal, but that goes a little too wide off of the close side here. The Wildcats have done a few interesting things here with their goal kicks. As you've noticed this time, their keeper gives a little tap, and their defender then gives a little bit of a running play, which I find a little interesting personally, as I don't know if that would be much different than the defender simply giving a running kick before. A tricky play nonetheless, but it does provide the Phoenix an opportunity to rush the goal.
That's probably Wildcats tripping.
Yes, as you can see, number 4, Burke turns around and kind of like calls for it as the, again, as we talked about the physicality of the game, turning up a little bit as the Wildcats with a little bit of tripping here resulting in a foul. Intense couple seconds for the Phoenix and Wildcat alike here, as everyone's truly looking to make the last couple of seconds of this half count. But it doesn't necessarily look like it's going to be a goal for either side here, as the whistle for the first half goes off there, ending the first half of this game with the score 4 for the Phoenix and 0 for the Wildcats. Is it 20? It's either 10 or 20. I don't know off the top of my head. 10 or 20? Yes. Well, that's close. I know. Top filler. Is it 10 or 20?
Yes, while we have the time here, I think we'll give another shout out to our sponsors, Daylight Donuts and Heidi's Dress Shop. Thank you again to them for sponsoring our stream. You can find them both here locally.
Yeah, so as the 10-minute halftime now starts, a couple thoughts on the first half of the game. It is definitely not a game that I think players or spectators or maybe even coaches could have expected out of the outcome of this game, because as we've mentioned, the last time that we faced the Washington Wildcats, we did mercy rule them at their home field. So the Wildcats have definitely stepped up their own game and improved, as their goalie has made some wonderful saves throughout the game. And that's not to say the players on the field are doing nothing, as they've had their fair share of stepping up and helping out here. So definitely not an outcome thus far we might have been expecting, but it has been a fantastic game nonetheless to watch, as the keeper for the Wildcats will continue to say has had a fantastic game, fending off PKs, goal kicks, and shots that look like it's just about to go in.
Crazy shots that are just absurd to block the way that keeper has.
And the Phoenix alike have also had a pretty fantastic game, as of course the score on the lights there show 4-0 for the Phoenix in the lead. And everybody truly has had a fair share in this, as they've had defenders stepping up to take shots there up for the midfield and up into the, as we saw a senior Annie Shia take a goal and make it earlier this game. And some beautiful shots from the Phoenix all around. But we will see you back here.
Yes, we're going to take this last 8 minutes.
About 8.5 minutes left for the half here. The Phoenix are taking this time and opting out of a traditional huddle and taking some practice shots on goal, as I think coach is noticing a similar problem that we were just talking about as well.
Yes.
So we will see you back here in about 8 minutes. Don't go anywhere. This is a fantastic game to watch.
Welcome back as we go into our second half of this women's soccer game. And boy, has it been an exciting game thus far.
It has. The Lady Phoenix are facing off against the Washington Wildcats. The current score is Atchison 4 and the Wildcats 0. And as we said just before halftime, don't let that score fool you. The Wildcats have had a definite and fantastic showing thus far this game. Now, with it being halftime, the teams will switch the sides of the field that they are on. Phoenix are still in red, and the Wildcats are still in white. The Phoenix will be going from the left side of your screen to the right, and the Wildcats will be doing the opposite. As Bobby cheers me on for getting the correct directions this time.
The correct right and left.
Yes.
The right, as it were.
The right, left?
Yeah?
Phoenix will be kicking off to start this half. As the sun starts to make its way down past a little bit past these trees and horizon line in the next few minutes, we will feel the temperature on the field start to drop a little bit. As we have felt already, as you can see on stream, there are more shadows being cast on the field. So therefore, more shadows everywhere.
We like shadows.
And it definitely helps cool off the temperature of the game. It'll be interesting to see if it helps cool off the temperament of the players as we started some physicality creeping in near the end of the last half.
The end of the last half. I rather thought the last half had yet to begun.
Quick on their feet, but off the field for a Wildcat throw-in. The Wildcats converging on Ella Hansen as she tries to make some plays, but has two men on her, and she's fighting to keep the ball and is struggling to do so. But is able to make a ball up to Schneller, who's looking to get a shot on that goal once again. Takes the shot, doesn't go in. It goes pretty far wide.
On the far side.
Yes, it does. For the first goal kick of the Wildcats this half.
Wildcats goal kick, the motto of the game.
They will be going for a little bit of that tricky play again as the keeper will get a little touch on that ball, and then the defender will kick it, opting for a short kick this time, putting them in a little bit of a danger zone for the Phoenix as they're willing to capitalize off of the time that the Wildcats have given them. Schneller makes a cross, unable to make something happen, but Finnegan able to get on that ball before it goes out, looking to make something happen on her own. Ball does go out, but is off the foot of a Wildcat. Happens yet once again.
Another Phoenix throw in.
This time out the back off of a Phoenix foot for the second goal kick for the Wildcats.
Wildcat goal kick every minute of the second half.
Thus far, yes, absolutely. That is a absolute testament to the pressure that the Phoenix are putting on the Wildcat defense and keeper, as their attempts on goal are numerous, although not all of them being fruitful. So many of them also ending out off the back of the field, which does in fact result for those goal kicks that we have been talking about. So the amount of goal kicks that the
Schneller, a kick, but it just hits a defender.
Yeah.
Emma
Finnegan
Finnegan with the shot on goal.
which
Ooh,
bounces
and it's good.
just between the hand of the keeper and the crossbar, but bounces in for a Phoenix goal.
Poor goalie. When you hit the ball, but it just bounces off your hand and goes in anyway.
I'm unable to truly tell from the distance between where we are sitting up here in the press box and where the keeper is at. If either the keeper misread that and thought the ball was going to go out, because it did look like it could go wide. So maybe she stopped her movement, but also maybe at the same time simply just got as far as she could between the time she was given to read the play. But that now brings the score to Phoenix 5, Wildcats 0. That goal was made with just about 3 minutes into this half. The Phoenix seeming to get a little bit of that fire beneath their wings again with that goal, as you can see them starting to turn up their intensity here. So Phoenix Raiders string together a couple good-looking passes before the defense is able to disrupt their plans. Defense taking their few steps and few moments to ensure the ball gets properly booted out there as they feel the pressure from the Wildcats for the first time this half.
Ooh. Phoenix player takes a bit of a fall, but it looks like it was just a fluke.
Pops right back up, and again, that physicality that we were talking about in the previous half of this game.
Yes, it was very apparent.
Starting to get a little bit more now, as we can see a little bit of that battle happening on that far side there between Schneller falling on the ground and then seemingly a retaliatory shove in result.
The battle? Like coach battle?
The unfortunately leaving the
Unfortunately.
Phoenix this season coach battle. But this is women's soccer, not men's basketball. Lakeland White crossing the field with a nice long kick, heading to the other half to switch the ball.
Nice to see Lakin back from that injury earlier.
Defense having to put together as they, for the first time, are having to fight for it.
Oh, that's our goal.
Keeper comes out of the box for a little bit there, but sneaks right back into her spot as the defense makes quick work to get that ball out, and they dribble up the field.
That was kind of spooky for a second there.
It was the closest shot that the Wildcats had on the Phoenix goal thus far this game. Correct me if I'm wrong, Robert. I do not believe our goalie has touched the ball yet.
No, not yet. Just a bit of a back and forth between the Phoenix offense and the Wildcats defense there.
Schneller able to get a
shot on
breakaway,
goal.
but the keeper blocks it on the ground with her hands, but doesn't keep it in as Hansen takes an opportunity to play on that. But as she attempts to line up the shot, a defender takes a real big swing, kicking it out for a Phoenix throw-in, really close to the corner, though.
Oh, really? Nice.
Rather difficult spot to make a throw-in, as you would definitely rather a corner in that situation to get that ball farther to the goal.
Phoenix with some excellent passes to each other to try and gain control of that ball.
Hansen making not what I think is an attempt on the goal, but an attempt at a cross, but unable to find the feet of her teammates as Snella wasn't quite ready for the ball. But that results in the ball getting booted out by the defense.
A little bit of a trip, it looks like.
Unsure if that was a trip call or a dangerous play call, as it did look kind of like a slide tackle, but the ref
that might have been.
Did not make the hand motion required for either of those calls. Not that they necessarily always have to, as it just needs to simply be communicated to coaches and players what it was. Simply leaving us in the dark in that one, but
some kind of aggressive call on the Wildcats.
Nonetheless, results for the Phoenix being able to get a kick on that ball. As we see the physicality happening here from the defense, but yet no call from the ref as...
you could have called that shoving. Like
yes.
Some shouldering.
As soon as you drop, you can body check a little bit within reason, so to say. But as soon as you drop your shoulder to dig into your opponent, that is when it crosses the line.
That's when there's an issue, guys.
So players like number 24, Caitlin Folsom, might find this ruling a little bit more difficult, as she is definitely taller than her peers on the field, but shorter players on the field have a little bit easier time with this, as they don't necessarily have to bend down to get on the same level as their opponents.
You don't have to stoop to their level, as it were.
Yes, one could say, absolutely. The Wildcats themselves getting a second wind, putting in the time and the effort for the battles and winning some of them in this fight. But whoa!
Another angry tumble.
You hear the whoa from the crowd and the team there. As you can see, the ref there this time extends his arm far out, showing that it was a shove call.
The crowd was not a fan of that one.
Not a fan of the shove, but
yeah,
seemingly in favor of the call. Yes, absolutely. Just to clarify. There is a short little injury on the field as a player takes a knee to get called off, and with a quick little switch in there, we're all good.
Ooh, the goalie bobbles the ball.
Giving a Phoenix a
the
time
Phoenix
to...
are there to capitalize on it. Just running her over and taking control of that ball.
I would like to rephrase the word running her over, as that might result in a foul against the Phoenix in a very dangerous spot, but they are definitely stepping over her to be able to get possession of that ball.
Yes.
Keepers do get a little bit of special treatment when it comes to fouls, as they are kind of like a protected citizen on the field, so to say, as refs tend to take a little bit more care of the keepers to ensure their safety, as the typical bench for keepers is not nearly that deep.
Looks like the Phoenix may have tripped a Wildcats player there.
As the ref calls for the play clock to stop. Pretty rough injury there. As you can tell, the Phoenix player immediately turned around to see if the opponent was okay, as it definitely was an unintentional injury here. As I was just saying off mic here, I personally don't think this injury will result in a card, as it did seem accidental, but definitely was a big hit. And as you can tell, their teammates definitely worried as they quickly crowded around their injured teammate.
Nice to see the Phoenix player involved, concerned, and turns right back around to check on them, though.
Yes, but they definitely give the trainer and the injured player some space. Player slowly making her way off the field. It does look like some type of head injury as she keeps touching her face.
Yes, and she doesn't seem to be favoring any legs.
No.
Those are unfortunate injuries.
Yes, but
head injuries.
she is able to make her way off the field on her own, but definitely nearby for the trainer. And the game continues after the injury.
For the show doesn't stop for anyone.
No, it does not. Game does continue. Phoenix give too big of a touch, resulting in the ball heading out for a Wildcat throw-in. Wildcats putting some pressure on the defense.
Yeah, it's a small break for the second, not the second, like the third.
One of the few times for the Wildcats thus far this half, have, definitely putting some pressure on the defense and getting a few breakaways here or there.
Yeah.
The Wildcats this game definitely have sustained numerous injuries. And while the game is definitely aggressive, and as we said, definitely physical, it's been interesting that a lot of those injuries has resulted in Wildcat injuries and not necessarily Phoenix injuries.
Be that resilience or be that the Phoenix being the more aggressive team. It is interesting.
Beautiful settle by Emma Finnegan, but unfortunately that ball is then interrupted by a Wildcat player.
Wildcats throw it.
The Wildcat defense, as I'm noticing, opting to play with 3 players in the defense as opposed to the Phoenix playing with 5 players in the defense. May this be their typical setup? I unable to comment on, but this also could be as a result of it playing against the Phoenix. The bench for the Wildcats going insane as the Wildcats get one of their close calls, one of their few close calls that they've had thus far for the Phoenix.
Yes, the Phoenix seeming to be making a few more mistakes, letting those people through this half.
Yes, the Phoenix not necessarily look around and being able to connect and make plays as we saw them doing. Definitely concerning as a lifelong Phoenix fan.
Hopefully it's a bit of a wake-up call for them to wake up, especially as it gets colder here.
Yes, that sun is making its way down, and it is an absolute relief for everyone, I would say, as it is becoming more of what I would call a nice, wonderful temperature.
Oh, it's a beautiful temperature out here at the moment.
And that temperature would be 76 degrees.
Perfect temperature. They'll tell you 80 is good, but 76 is where it's at.
Finnegan making an attempt to get on the goal, but is stopped. Could be called a trip, could have tumbled over her own legs there, but either way, it results in the Wildcats getting the ball. Physicality absolutely amping up on the field as we're seeing players, both teams starting to tug on jerseys there.
They got no time for Niceties.
Jerseys tugged on or not, no call is made as Schneller gets a look at the goal once again, but is converged on not one, not two, but three defenders.
That's all their defenders. Ooh. That one not a trip. That was not physicality.
Not a shove in that one. As I was discussing before, it did not look like she dipped her shoulder in that one. So again, a little bit of a weird gray zone, and this ref definitely opting to allow it, which then in turn
just let him go wild.
Will absolutely ramp up the physicality of this game as we're starting to see other players as they're starting to run through their opponents to get to the ball. The ref absolutely has the power to cool the temperaments of the players on the field as he can award fouls or cards, and thus far has not done so.
Yes, he's decided he doesn't need that power now. That looked pretty aggressive right there.
It did look a little too
like
handsy
hands
from
on the other players.
The AR's assistant refs are definitely able to help the center ref with these types of things. As we saw much earlier into the game that the far side AR called a foul and the center ref allowed it, but that would have been an eye shot of the close side AR, and he definitely didn't call that either. The Phoenix struggling to step to the ball when the ball is played near them.
Number 5 for the Wildcats on the ball, being aggressive.
The Wildcats definitely proving to show that they're not in this game as they get their first offside calls thus far as their player is able to get a breakaway.
You know what? Offsides means they're being aggressive. That's, in my opinion, what offsides means.
There is another injury on the field, this time a Wildcat player yet again, as they sit past the 40-yard line. As the center ref calls for the play clock to stop and ushers on the trainer.
Injuries abound tonight.
I am personally unsure if we can call that one an injury, as that player jogs off the field. Simply maybe needing a water break or needing that sub in. Either way, player definitely needed to hop off the field.
Whether that's an injury or not, it's still a ton of them this evening.
Absolutely. It's been quite a few injury calls.
Injury calls, yeah. Important differentiation to make.
Ella Hansen taking a few steps, sends the ball up the line to Emma Finnegan, who gets a look at the goal, decides to opt to send to Schneller, who gives a give and go, but Ella Finnegan is offsides.
That was rather unfortunate.
That was a beautiful play for the Phoenix. It was looking
like
it was looking fantastic, but unfortunately, when Schneller gave that ball back to Finnegan, Finnegan had continued her speed, which was farther than the farthest back defender. Hansen able to keep that ball in, and so it leads to Finnegan making a cross play here, and it is intercepted by a Wildcat player. Phoenix looking to make something happen on the far side, but it is truly battling it out with one-on-one with the defender here. No one from either team there to help him out.
Yeah, what exchange. What an interaction between two players.
The Wildcats definitely showing what they're made of the second half, as it is now creeping
Ooh.
to just about 12 minutes played in this half so far. Sorry, 18 minutes
18.
played in this half. Definitely have let past significantly less goals than they did
By
in the
this time,
first half.
First.
Yes, absolutely.
And the Phoenix are letting far more Wildcats players closer to their goal than they were first half.
Yes, as the Wildcats get a pretty good look at the goal and are inside the box, but the defense is able to get a good boot on it and send it out, but turns it around, is trying to head up the field, but battling it out on the way. The Phoenix not looking in the best shape as they want to be, as the Wildcats get a good look at the goal, but Kate Swafford, for the first time entering this game, able to slide her way through the box and boots the ball out.
And the crowd goes wild for that one. The
Talk
crowd
about reading
is
the play. She
absurdly
did that one
loud.
beautifully. Schneller able to get a one-on-one situation with the goalie. Too far of a touch, and it goes out wide on the far side as the crowd goes, ugh.
Close. Not quite.
Close is unfortunately not close enough. What is it saying? Close only counts in horseshoes and hand grenades.
I haven't heard that one. But that's a good one. I'll probably be using that. That's a funny one. Well, it's morbidly funny.
It is. Kate Swafford looking for another long ball as she was able to make a goal pretty far out from previously, but also close, but not close enough. Annie Shia taking a couple steps up the field as we've seen her do before. This time leaving the Atchison defense down to 3 instead of a midfielder coming back to take her spot.
Oh, the Wildcats goalie finds the ball.
Checks in with her team. Couple thumbs up before she goes for the drop kick.
Some good distance on that drop kick.
Convergence happening on the ball, and it truly just seems that
Bit of a bump.
players more just collide or trip over their own teammates' feet, so no calls made there.
Oh. A Wildcats throw in.
We now inch just over.
That was a lot of inching.
No, yes, it was a lot of inching for the throw-in, but as I tried to find the word for it, but yes, the clock, as we are now halfway through the second half.
crowd's excited out here tonight, and it's nice to see them.
Definitely more vocal than they were the first half. I would consider that because of the heat. As Schneller's able to get the
another
ball
goal.
bouncing off of the turf, gets a foot on it and into the field. That was an assist by Finnegan there as Schneller reads the pass there well, reads the bounce off of the turf, and finds itself into the back of the net, bringing the score 6-0.
Very nice. And now it might be time to mention a certain set
I
of
was
rules.
about to say this brings us dangerously close to mercy rule, but truly, before I state the rules for a mercy rule in a game, with 17 and a half minutes remaining in the half, I do question whether a mercy rule is in the cards for the Phoenix this game because it took them thus far to get this many points. So, as a mercy rule states for Acacia, is that if a team is 8 points ahead or more by the end of the first half, the game will end. That is not the scenario we are in, as we are now into the second half of the game. So, should the Phoenix find themselves 8 points ahead of their opponents, in this case, the Washington Wildcats, it would result in a mercy rule and the game ends. So, couple scenarios here. If the Wildcats are able to get a goal, sorry, a small little interruption here by the center ref as he corrects the game clock to what he says is the correct time, and the only clock that matters on the field is the center ref. Back to mercy rule instructions. Now that we are in the second half, should the leading team, in this case the Phoenix, find themselves 8 points ahead of their opponents, the game will end. So, couple scenarios, as I was stating, the Wildcats could score a goal, which they are very well capable of, as we've seen them have quite a few breakaways now in the last couple minutes. They could score a goal and kind of fends off this rule, but even if they score one goal and the Phoenix still find themselves 8 points ahead, so in that case, at 9 points, the game would end. In what one could consider a more likely case, a game could end at 8-0, which is still 8 points ahead.
Very nice. My prediction was that we mercy rule at 10 minutes left in the game. But
I'm unfortunately
5
not a
minutes is
betting
lot of
person.
time.
Yes. That ball did head out with a really intense battle between Caitlin Folsom and a Wildcat player, but that was for a corner kick. A intense battle with quite a few high kicks happened in the box, but ultimately the ball is out for a Wildcat goal kick. Yes, as I stated before going through those mercy rule conditions, I personally am unsure if a mercy rule is in the cards for the Phoenix. It absolutely could happen, and the Phoenix are very clearly capable of happening. But the Phoenix definitely need to get their head a little bit more on straight and playing similar to how they were in the first half and not necessarily how they've been playing thus far in the second half.
Yes, they will have to step it up a little bit in order to score those points. Or they could just play defensive and run the 14 minutes. 14 minutes isn't such a long time to wait.
Which absolutely could happen, but as I was stating, that doesn't qualify for the mercy rule conditions, unfortunately. So, as you inadvertently tended to agree with me there, Robert, could result in a non-mercy rule game for the Phoenix. Nothing really to unfortunately commentate on in the last couple minutes there, as both teams truly putting in effort towards that ball. But it did end up out on the far side off of Phoenix's foot for a Wildcat throw-in. Schneller now getting her chance at a breakaway once again, but she is unfortunately
Just a wild
offsides.
shot on.
She, although was offsides, also still did not make her attempt at the goal, as Robert was saying, does go wide even if she had not been offsides. But alas.
Offsides kills it all. Even if it was a perfect goal, it would not matter.
The Wildcats kind of running out the clock here, as it takes them a little bit longer to set up this offsides ball here.
Taking their time with it.
Definitely taking their time. In this scenario, not necessarily having a lot of hustle, but that still doesn't say that they haven't had hustle in the game.
Do you think they're kind of just over it, kind of just ready to wind down with these last few minutes of the game? These last 12 minutes?
Absolutely could. Quick little foul there, as it looked like a handling call against the Wildcats for now a Phoenix kick. But yeah, I think that both teams absolutely have to be tired here, as we're starting to get close to about 50 minutes of playing now.
Oh, yeah, easily.
My bad.
I think well over 50.
Well over, closer to 60. My bad.
Yes, closer to 60.
And so for an hour of play time for some players, that is a lot, as we're starting to see the Phoenix switch out some of their players that we typically see on the field. So, for example, if we look down on our defensive line, we are missing the lead defender, Burke, number 4 there. And if we look farther up into the midfield and offense, we have players that we don't typically see, like number 18, Josephine Bradfield, in the game for us, and number 6, Kiana Richardson, also in the game. So the Phoenix are definitely taking this opportunity to experiment with other players on the field.
And a good opportunity. The season's almost over.
Absolutely.
And we've got a decent lead. So
But I do think part of that new faces or fresh faces on the field does ultimately result from the Phoenix being tired. It was a absolutely hot and blazing first half, which absolutely zaps anybody's energy reserves. And so part of the reason we could be seeing new faces in the field right now is that people are tired. Finnegan getting a shot on the goal is able to get it through the hands of the keeper, leading the Phoenix into dangerous Mercy Rule territory, 7-0.
with 10 minutes left. So my prediction will be pretty accurate if we can get another goal within this first minute.
Beautiful play by the Phoenix. I'm unfortunately not as familiar with the Wildcat lineup, so I'm unable to say if we are seeing new faces or fresh feet on the field for them, but I would naturally assume that they would find themselves in a similar position. That they have been subbing out players to ensure that all their players are well rested, aren't in dangerous injury territory, because playing through heat or playing through exhaustion like that could lead to more sloppy plays or less critical thinking, which does sometimes result in injuries simply because players aren't as thinking as much as safety or the smartest play.
Yes, you lose some awareness when you're super duper hot.
Yes, absolutely. Schneller taking a
nasty
tumble from what personally I would have called a shove there, but no call from the ref. And that is the call that matters.
Speaking of calls that matter,
there is a little bit of conversation here in the field with the center ref and the AR. As the center ref corrects the play clock yet again to say 9:18.
ooh, that's like a whole minute gone off the clock. an almost minute, whatever.
No, you're 100% right. I apologize to my viewers as you didn't see. I made a little bit of faces. Robert was saying that. Unfortunately, I'm revealing myself here a little bit as I wasn't going to say it, but I will now. I was not. My apologies, Robert, making the face at the math there. More of. It is fascinating the amount of times that the ref has corrected the play clock. While we have made a couple mistakes up here in the press box regarding time, we've been quick to be able to fix them on our own before the center ref has caught them.
Yes, those 40 seconds seems like a pretty big
Which in the end, some games,
oversight.
those 40 seconds could absolutely add up to be a lot. But in the games that we have played thus far in the Amelia Earhart Stadium, no ref has yet to correct the play clock.
And this ref has done it at least twice.
And this team has now done it twice. And so nothing against the ref team, as we are entirely appreciative that that the refs are out here for us and being able to ref a fair and equitable game for for both teams. But interesting nonetheless.
The first, a goal?
So
Goal
the
for
Wildcats are able to get a goal through as a little bit of bobbling happens around through the defense and the keeper, and no one truly seeming to communicate with each other, leading the Wildcats to lead to their first point, putting them out of extremely risky mercy rule territory. As I stated earlier, the Wildcats could and have now absolutely scored another point. So this means if the Phoenix won a mercy rule in the next about 9 minutes, they will have to score now 2 goals.
Which is twice as hard as scoring 1 goal. But also, a point on the board for the Wildcats has got to be morale boost with these last few minutes.
Absolutely. As I've stated many times and I will continue to do so, the remaining time is the Wildcats have not come to simply play a game, but they have come to definitely play their sport, as they have had some wonderful showings through the defense, offense, midfield, and absolutely their keeper. This is absolutely a different team than the Phoenix faced off against earlier in the season at their home field, as this does not appear to be a team that the Phoenix are going to mercy. As I see this, Emma Finnegan once again finds herself offsides.
Not again. This keeps happening.
Physicality happening on the field between the Phoenix and the Washington Wildcats, as some elbows are thrown, but absolutely no calls from.
The game does not cool down, though the weather does.
Good step by defender Lakin White, but alas, seemingly for nothing, as no one is there to get it from her, as Kate Swafford, for the first time, gets her hand truly onto the ball and throws it out. The Phoenix yet again in dangerous territory.
Crazy pressure. Another
As the Wildcats are able to
goal.
seek yet again another goal into the net against the Phoenix. As again, it seems there was a miscommunication on the Phoenix
astonishing.
defense and keeper there, as nobody truly communicated who was stepping towards the ball.
Wow. Absolutely astonishing. I never expected them to score any points this game, really, after we had 7 points with like 10 minutes left.
Absolutely.
But then they get 2 points on the board in the span of as many minutes.
They have absolutely been capitalizing on the Phoenix laziness or lack of communication.
Apathy, complacency.
We've talked about many times that the Phoenix do a fantastic and wonderful job of communicating to their peers on the field, but they have absolutely been lacking that in the last 5 minutes.
And the Wildcats are certainly taking the opportunity to show their mettle.
Schneller looking at her opportunity to get that goal back. But the keeper
Their
makes her
keeper.
own slide and is
What
able
a
to block that
slide.
goal beautifully. And yet again, happens again.
Their keeper is really just insane.
The keeper has done a fantastic job. I do wish that I were able to see the stats for their keeper for specifically this game, as she's done a stellar job. Phoenix back onto the attacking third, but not for long before the defense for the Wildcats try to get that ball under control. Hansen looking for her shot on goal, looking for the cross, attempts the cross, but her teammates do get a foot on it, but not a foot that's one that can get into the goal. I truly do hope that those two quick succession goals against the Phoenix are a wake-up call for them.
Yes. Really a punch in the face to the Phoenix, who were not dominating this game, but certainly
Controlling it.
Controlling it, yes. For the entirety of the first half of the game and well into the second.
I personally have to wonder if this is a case of Icarus, as I personally
yes.
did enter this game, unfortunately thinking that this could be a mercy rule game for the Phoenix. And I have absolutely been proven wrong, and I'm happy to be proven wrong. But this could be a game, a Icarus play, as the Phoenix could have possibly had a little too big of an ego going into this game, as the last game that they had played against the Wildcats resulted in, for lack of a better word, an easy win for them.
Yeah. Yes, on wings of hubris, even the mighty fall.
The bench for the Wildcats screaming, cheering on their teammates as the Wildcats put pressure onto the defensive line yet again.
While the Wildcats are trying to keep up that offense. However, their player running the ball has fallen.
I do not believe that is going to be a foul call, as it did look like, although number 3, Lee Adams, the player who was running alongside her, could have had affected to her fall, more of the player stumbled over her own speed, as she was moving very
looked more
fast.
benign, yeah. But the Wildcats really not letting up here.
No, absolutely not, but the Phoenix really looking to regain that control that they had in the first half.
And you can hear the crowd cheering for the Phoenix.
Schneller making yet again another attempt at the goal. Attempt or at least cross for the goal. But teammates are not there to do so. We are now inching to less than 1.5 minutes remaining in this half.
Yes, time is ticking by. Sometimes fast and sometimes slow, but surely it's going. And
For the players on the field, I would have to imagine each second here feels nearly like an eternity as the Phoenix are looking to probably get back those 2 goals that they lost recently, and the Washington Wildcats looking to prove that they can earn more.
well,
Josephine
they named back one of
Bradfield
those
able to
goals.
get the goal on that one for the Phoenix, as a couple kicks here and there in the box lead to nothing to fruition, but she's at the back corner and able to tap it in.
Yes, with 42 seconds left, that brings your score to Phoenix 8 and Wildcats 2, which means we have a direct comparison to our last game against them, where we won 8-0. So they have made clear progress in their score against us. Just about 30 seconds left in this half before the game rolls to a stop.
And you can hear the coach for Washington saying, everybody get up, as she's definitely fighting for those last few points that she can get.
They want that 1 point back.
And as they should, they have had a wonderful showing this game, and although the lights out there don't show it, it's been fantastic. And there's
the game.
3 whistles to end the game, ending the game, and Phoenix 8 and the visiting Wildcats 2. What a phenomenal game.
An amazing game. Plot twists, things you never expected to happen. A great showing from both teams.
Both teams. So although there is a rather large 6-point difference here, it was still a edge of your seat game, as the Phoenix, who could have thought that they could have had an easy game here, definitely did not, as the Wildcats had a fantastic showing tonight. Their keeper fending off endless shots, sometimes one following another many times. Both teams having a fantastic showing here.
Yes, certainly nothing to shake a stick at. It looks good. What a game. Glad to be here. Especially since the weather got nicer as the game went on, especially into that second half. The sun set quick.
It was fantastic to see new players in the field. It's especially fantastic to see Josephine Bradfield, number 18, make that goal, as that's the first goal she has made in a varsity game, at least here at the Amelia Earhart Stadium. So as we're talking, putting different feet on the field means more opportunities for other players, and it is a beautiful thing to see.
Yes, you can see the Phoenix waving back to the crowd.
You can definitely see a little bit lower energy here than other games, as they currently aren't doing backflips. Not to say that they won't, but it's definitely a little bit more of an exhausting game for the Phoenix.
With that, seeing no backflips, I think we should do one more sponsors run. So thank you again to our sponsors, Daylight Donuts and Heidi's Dress Shop, for sponsoring this stream. Do you have any final remarks before we sign off?
I would not envy being the Phoenix players, the Phoenix coaches right now, as some very serious conversations could be had, as the Phoenix did not have their greatest showing tonight. They'd still definitely put in the work and put in the effort, but of what the Phoenix have been able to be capable of was definitely not presented tonight, which is a dangerous position for this team to be in, considering they are wrapping up the end of season and could be possibly leading into the postseason. So I hope come the next few games that the Phoenix are able to see some of those things and learn from the mistakes and move on and get back to the team that we have seen for most of the
whole
season thus far.
Really.
So, with that, thank you so very much for watching our stream tonight. Have a fantastic night. Thank you to the students here who have been able to run the stream, the people behind the scenes, and Dr. Williams for stepping in as our athletic director was away. Thank you very much, and have a great night.